Is your city about to face the coldest night in decades? Right now, as you are watching this, a massive Arctic blast is sweeping across Canada, and what happens in the next 72 hours could rewrite weather records that have stood for generations. Stick with me because at the 30-second mark, I am revealing which major city will see temperatures plummet to minus 30 degrees Celsius tonight. Here it is. Toronto, our largest city, is bracing for a bone-chilling minus 19 degrees Celsius overnight. But that is just the beginning. Ottawa will drop even lower to minus 18, and Winnipeg, brace yourself, minus 25 degrees Celsius with wind chills making it feel like minus 35. This is not your typical February cold snap. This is a historic Arctic invasion. But why is this happening? And more importantly, when will it hit your neighborhood? At the 5-minute mark, I will show you the exact timeline hour by hour for when this deep freeze arrives in your city. But first, you need to understand what is driving this extreme cold. Right now, above our heads in the stratosphere, something extraordinary is happening. The polar vortex, that massive swirling mass of Arctic air that normally stays locked over the North Pole, is splitting apart. When this happens, and it does not happen often, Arctic air spills southward like water breaking through a dam. And Canada? We are directly in its path. Meteorologists from Environment Canada and the Weather Network have confirmed this is a stratospheric warming event. What does that mean for you? It means the protective barrier that keeps Arctic air locked up north is breaking down. Over the next 2 weeks, wave after wave of bitter cold will sweep across the country. Now, I know what you are thinking. It is February. It is supposed to be cold. But here is the twist that nobody saw coming. January 2026 just became the snowiest January on record at Toronto Pearson Airport. Ever. In history. And February is already following the same pattern. Let me give you a number that will shock you. In the past 30 days, Toronto has received more snow than it typically gets in an entire winter season. Montreal is tracking even higher. Over 60 centimeters of snow in February alone, with another 20 to 30 centimeters expected by next week. So where are you watching from right now? Drop your city in the comments below and I will give you the specific forecast for your area. Are you in Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver, Winnipeg? Comment now because the timeline is different for every region. Let me start with Eastern Canada because this is where the Arctic blast hits first and hits hardest. Toronto, you are ground zero. Here is your exact timeline. Tonight, Friday, February 6th, temperatures drop to minus 19 degrees Celsius by 10 p.m. By midnight, with the wind chill, it will feel like minus 28. Saturday morning, the high only reaches minus 1 degree Celsius. There is a 35% chance of snow between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. That means your evening commute could be treacherous. Sunday brings no relief, with highs struggling to minus 3 degrees. The real danger is not just the temperature. It is the wind. Southwest winds at 17 kilometers per hour will create wind chills that can cause frostbite on exposed skin in less than 10 minutes. If you must go outside, cover every inch of skin. Ears, nose, fingers, those are the first to get frostbite. Ottawa, Canada, capital. You are facing an even colder scenario. Your timeline starts earlier. Right now, as of 6 p.m. Friday evening, temperatures are already at minus 12 degrees Celsius. By 9 p.m. tonight, minus 15. By 2 a.m. Saturday morning, minus 18 degrees Celsius. The wind chill, minus 30 degrees Celsius. Here is a number that puts this in perspective. Ottawa typically sees 21 snowy days in February. This year, we are on track for 28. That is a 33% increase. Your snow probability today is 35%, concentrated between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. tonight. And Ottawa, the Rideau Canal is seeing ideal ice conditions right now because of this sustained cold. But outdoor skating should be limited to 15-minute intervals maximum. Hypothermia risk is real when the wind chill hits minus 30. Montreal, you are not escaping this either. Friday night, temperatures drop to minus 16 degrees Celsius by 11 p.m. Saturday is high, minus 11 degrees Celsius. That is colder than both Toronto and Ottawa. Your snow probability is 20% tonight, increasing to 40% on Sunday. Here is the Montreal twist. Because of cold air masses funneling down from northern Quebec, your snowfall totals are going to exceed Toronto's. We are forecasting an additional 15 to 20 centimeters by Monday morning. That is on top of the 50 centimeters you have already received this month. Now, I promised you the complete timeline at the 5-minute mark. We are there. Here is the full picture, city by city, hour by hour. Eastern Canada timeline. The Arctic blast began its march southward at 4 a.m. this morning. By noon, it reached the Ontario-Quebec border. By 6 p.m. tonight, it engulfs Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Quebec City. Peak cold arrives between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Saturday morning. This is when we see the lowest temperatures. The cold remains entrenched through Sunday. Monday brings slight moderation, with highs climbing to -5 degrees Celsius in Toronto, but another system approaches Tuesday. Now let us fly to central Canada, where the word cold takes on a whole new meaning. Winnipeg, Manitoba. You are facing the most extreme conditions in the country. Here is your timeline. Friday night by 8 p.m., temperatures drop to -20 degrees Celsius. By midnight, -23. By 4 a.m. Saturday, -25 degrees Celsius. The wind chill will make it feel like -35 to -38 degrees Celsius. This is dangerous cold. This is the kind of cold where your car might not start even with a block heater. This is the kind of cold where breathing deeply hurts your lungs. This is the kind of cold where you can get frostbite in 5 minutes or less on exposed skin. Winnipeg, you are one of the coldest cities in the world among cities with over 500,000 people. But this particular event is notable because it is sustained. Saturday as high, -13 degrees Celsius. Sunday, -15 degrees Celsius. You do not break into the minus single digits until Wednesday. Here is the critical safety information for Winnipeg and the Prairies. Do not stay outside for more than 15 to 20 minutes continuously. Watch for signs of hypothermia, shivering, fatigue, confusion, loss of coordination. If you see these symptoms, get inside immediately and seek medical help. Your snow probability is 20%, but with ground blizzards possible. What is a ground blizzard? It is when existing snow gets picked up by strong winds, creating whiteout conditions even when it is not snowing. Visibility can drop to 0 in seconds. If you must drive, keep an emergency kit in your vehicle. Blankets, water, non-perishable food, flashlight, snow shovel, and a charged cell phone. Now here is where the story takes an unexpected turn. While Eastern and Central Canada freeze, Western Canada is experiencing something completely different. Calgary, Alberta, your timeline is the opposite of everywhere else. Friday afternoon, temperatures climb to 12 degrees Celsius. 12 degrees! That is a 25-degree difference from Ottawa. Rain probability is only 10%. Saturday looks even better, reaching 14 degrees Celsius. How is this possible? 2 words. Chinook winds. Moist Pacific air travels east, hits the Rocky Mountains, rises up and over the peaks, loses its moisture, then descends down the eastern slopes. As it descends, it compresses and warms. This can raise temperatures by 20 to 30 degrees Celsius in just a few hours. Calgary, you are in a Chinook window right now, and it will last through the weekend, but do not get too comfortable. By Tuesday, the Arctic air mass finds a way around the Rockies, and your temperatures crash back to -10 degrees Celsius. Edmonton, your timeline is similar but slightly cooler. Friday's high reaches 2 degrees Celsius, Saturday 4 degrees Celsius. Rain probability is 10%, but Edmonton, here is your warning. By Monday evening, the Arctic blast finally arrives. Temperatures drop from +2 degrees on Sunday to -15 degrees by Tuesday morning. That is a 17-degree temperature swing in 36 hours. Your body does not adjust well to these rapid changes. Now, let us travel to the West Coast, where the weather story is completely different. Vancouver, British Columbia. You are living in a different climate zone entirely. Friday's high reaches 13 degrees Celsius. Tonight's low, only 5 to 9 degrees Celsius. Rain probability is 10% today, but here is the catch. Over the next 7 days, you have 16 chances of rain. Your total rainfall by next Friday could reach 135 to 242 millimeters. Vancouver, you trade cold for wet. While Toronto shovels snow and Winnipeg battles -30 wind chills, you need your umbrella and rain jacket. But do not underestimate wet cold. 13 degrees with rain and wind feels colder than you think. Your timeline for the next week. Rain showers Saturday afternoon, clearing Sunday morning. Rain returns Monday evening. Heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday, showers Thursday. The freezing level stays at 1,000 meters elevation and above, so no snow in the city, but the mountains are getting hammered with heavy snow. Now here is the information that ties everything together, the big picture that explains why February 2026 is so unusual. We are witnessing a rare combination of three atmospheric factors happening simultaneously. First, the polar vortex split. Second, La Niña is fading toward ENSO-neutral conditions. When La Niña fades, it removes constraints on high-latitude weather patterns, allowing the polar vortex to dominate. Third, ocean temperature patterns are setting up for repeated storm tracks across Canada. What does this mean in plain language? More cold, more snow, more extreme weather events through the rest of February and likely into March. Seasonal forecast models from Environment Canada show above normal snowfall probability for Eastern Canada through March 15th at 75% confidence. For Central Canada, 80% confidence. These are high probability numbers. But here is the twist that nobody is talking about. This also means spring, when it finally arrives, will be dramatic. All this snow has to melt. River flood risk in April and May is elevated. Start thinking about flood preparedness now if you live near rivers or in low-lying areas. Now let me give you practical, actionable advice for each region. Eastern Canada, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City. Your action items for this weekend. Stock up on groceries today. Avoid unnecessary travel Saturday and Sunday. Keep your cell phone charged. Check on elderly neighbors, bring pets indoors, let your faucets drip slightly to prevent frozen pipes, keep your gas tank at least half full. Central Canada, Winnipeg, and the Prairies. Your situation is more serious. In addition to everything Eastern Canada should do, add these. Test your vehicle block heater now. Keep an emergency kit in your car always. Do not travel alone if possible. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. Watch for signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Limit outdoor activities to essential only. Western Canada, Calgary, and Edmonton. Take advantage of this Chinook while it lasts. Enjoy the mild weather this weekend, but prepare for the temperature crash coming Tuesday. Have your winter gear ready to deploy quickly. Vancouver. Your challenge is different. Waterproof everything. Check your gutters and drains, ensure proper drainage around your home foundation, drive carefully on wet roads, and always carry rain gear. Here is something important that applies to everyone across Canada. Days are getting longer. Even in this bitter cold, spring is approaching. Toronto gains 1 hour and 15 minutes of daylight by the end of February. Calgary gains 1 hour and 40 minutes. This extra sunlight starts triggering biological responses in plants and animals. Spring is coming. It is just not here yet. Let me share one final timeline that brings us to the end of this extreme cold event. Monday, February 9th, temperatures moderate slightly across eastern Canada. Tuesday, February 10th, another weak system brings light snow to Ontario and Quebec. Wednesday, February 11th, we get a one-day break with partly sunny skies. Thursday, February 12th, the next major Arctic blast approaches from the northwest. Friday, February 13th, yes, Friday the 13th, another round of extreme cold arrives, potentially even colder than this current event. The pattern is clear. February 2026 is an active, cold, snowy month. This is not a one-time event. This is the new normal for the rest of winter. But here is the good news. Canadians are resilient. We do not just survive winter, we thrive in it. From Festival du Voyageur in Winnipeg to Winterlude in Ottawa, from ice fishing to hockey to skiing, we have turned winter into an opportunity. So yes, Friday, February 6th, 2026 is cold, brutally cold in many places, but we are prepared, we are informed. And now, with the timeline I have given you, you know exactly when to expect the worst conditions and when relief arrives. Remember, drop your city in the comments below for specific advice. Are you prepared for this weekend is cold? What is your biggest weather concern? Let me know. And here is what is coming next. In my next weather update, I will reveal the long-range forecast for March. Will this cold pattern continue? When does spring actually arrive? There is a developing situation with the jet stream that could flip everything we think we know about spring 2026. You will not want to miss it. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep checking Environment Canada and the Weather Network for updates. This is your complete weather breakdown for Friday, February 6, 2026. The Arctic is here, but so are we.